Part 39. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 381. Chapter 381 SI, you really went too far. For a moment, I didn't react. A few seconds later, when he reacted, he immediately held the soft white hand of the girl next to him. Slender, white, well-jointed fingers were inserted between the girl's fingers, interlocking with hers. Seeing the two people's hands tightly intertwined, Gongzili's expression changed again. He pursed his lips and tightened his fists. Well, I've finished it. Moyesi didn't seem to notice Gongzili standing in front. His eyes fell on the fair and soft face of the girl next to him, and he said in a gentle voice, "Is there a bag you like? Are you planning to buy it?" Chiao Mian nodded. "Well, I've taken a fancy to a bag and I think it's quite suitable for Luo Luo." "Then buy it?" Chiao Mian. She is planning to buy it? However, she was helpless when someone had to fight against her. Moyesi saw Chiao Mian's helpless and somewhat angry eyes, and felt relieved, leading her slowly forward. After a few steps, "Stop." He raised his eyes, and the gentleness in his eyes when he was talking to Chiao Mian suddenly disappeared, and his eyes became cold and sharp. "Are you determined to have trouble with me?" His words were addressed to Gongzili. Several shop assistants nearby were surprised to find out. As soon as Moyesi appeared, Gongzili's aura weakened a lot and was not as strong as before. This young master of the Gong family, who was famously bad-tempered in Yunchinj, had his whole aura reduced a lot. A few people turned their attention to Moyesi again, secretly guessing who this guest with an extraordinary identity was. Why, even the young master of the Gong family seems to be a little afraid of him. There are only a few top wealthy families in Yunchinj, and they all know the other powerful young men who have good relations with Gongzili. Among those few people, there was no such unidentified guest in front of me. However, the person who can make even the young master fear him must have a very prominent status. Gongzili's face turned livid. "Then you are also determined to fight with me because of this woman?" Moyesi didn't say anything, and stared at him solemnly for a few seconds, his eyes colder than before. Gongzili also had a cold face and looked at him as if they were competing. After looking at each other for a moment, he sneered, "It seems that you are determined to protect her. I know you won't listen to my words. So I won't advise you. It doesn't matter to me what you think of me. But..." He paused for a moment, and there was something different in his eyes. "ACI, are you going too far with Rura? She has known you for a longer time. It can be said that you are the real childhood sweethearts. Grown up. No matter what she did, her original intention was for your own good. If you want to protect your people, why do you have to make her so embarrassed? Do you know how sad she cried after leaving the restaurant today? How sad? ACI, you really went too far. Rura is right, you have changed. You were not like this before." Gongzili said this with a disappointed expression on his face. After Moyesi heard what he said, his face showed no expression and his mood did not fluctuate at all. It seemed that Gongzili was talking about another person who had nothing to do with him. Not talking about him. He asked in a calm voice, "Are you done?" Gongzili talked for a long time, and when he saw his attitude, he became even more angry. "Yes, it's over. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss." Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 382. Chapter 382. It's quite generous to think about it. How long have Shenro and I known each other? You don't need to remind me, I know it very well. Moyesi said in an emotionless voice, "My attitude towards her has nothing to do with how long I have known her. If she feels embarrassed, that is her fault. Ask for it." Moyesi, you. It's not that I have changed, it's your own problem. Moyesi looked at him calmly and stated the facts. You know why we are in this situation. Also, I will naturally protect my wife. For the rest of her life, no matter who she is, she will never get along with me." Hearing what he said, Chiao Mian was moved and squeezed his hand. This man did what he promised. He said that he would not let anyone make her suffer, and he really did so. Even if the other person is a friend who has known him for more than 10 years, he still chooses to stand by her side, defend her, and help her stand up. He did not deal with it casually just because he had a good relationship with Gong Zili. This is not something everyone can do. It can be said that most men cannot do it. In the minds of many men, brothers are brothers and women are clothes. Seeing that he was still stubborn, Gong Zili gritted his teeth angrily and said, "Okay, I'll just wait and see how long you can protect her. Mo Yesi, you will regret it sooner or later." After saying this, Gong Zili left angrily. Before leaving, he glanced at Chiao Mian with an unclear look, and a trace of doubt flashed in his eyes again. Mo Yesi stood there, reaching out and rubbing his eyebrows, his eyes showing a little tiredness. "Are you okay?" Chiao Mian felt a little sorry. Every time, Mo Yesi was so at odds with Gong Zili because he wanted to protect her. Originally, they were brothers who had a very good relationship. But now, she could actually tell that Mo Yesi's mood was affected after the quarrel with Gong Zili and the others. He said it was nothing on the surface, but how could it really be nothing? Just imagine, one day, she and Zhang Luli have a quarrel because of the same situation, and she will be very depressed and sad. However, she would not do such a stupid thing. From now on, if her Luoluo has a man she likes, as long as he is not a really bad guy, she will not be able to object to him. "It's okay." Mo Yesi looked down at her and said, "It's just an unpleasant incident, don't worry about it." "Which bag did you look at just now? Do you want the clerk to wrap it for you?" "Sir, it's this bag." The clerk was afraid that they wouldn't buy it, and in the end he didn't even sell a single bag. He immediately came over with the bag and said with a smile, "Actually, what this young lady likes first is this black bag, because Mr. Gong also brought it." A female companion came over and said she also liked the black one, so she gave it to her. "Our 3 colors of this bag are very good looking. Black is classic and goes well with everything, burgundy is very fashionable, dark green is retro and elegant, and the 3 colors can be interchanged." Although I still don't know who Mo Yesi is. However, several clerks were watching and saw that he and Gong Zili seemed to have a close friendship. That must be an extremely prominent status. Looking at how much he protects and dotes on the female customer next to him, it seems quite generous to take action. They were thinking about whether they could sell the 3 bags together. Mo Yesi has no idea about women's bags, but his taste is there after all, and he can still tell whether they look good or not. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 383. Chapter 383. Poor people need to make choices. He glanced at the bag in the clerk's hand and thought it looked really good, so he nodded and said, "Well, wrap the 3 colors together." The clerk's eyes lit up instantly, and the smile on his lips couldn't stop. "Okay, sir, please wait a moment, we will pack it for you right away." 3 bags were sold in one go, and the clerk left with a happy face. Chiao Mian was stunned for a few seconds and looked at him with wide eyes. "Did you buy 3 bags? But, I only plan to buy 1. Mo Yesi raised his lips, looked at her with charming eyes, and said in a low voice, "If you like it, buy more. Don't worry about money. Didn't you tell me I'll pay for it?" He went to the mall with her specifically not to let her buy things for others. Furthermore, Wei Zheng said that women all like bags. Of course he would buy more for her. Chiao Mian Mian, but, this is the gift I bought for Lugo Lugo, how could I let? Before he finished speaking, he was interrupted. We are both husband and wife, and the marital property after marriage is considered as community property. My money is your money, and there is no difference between spending mine and yours. This statement seems to make sense. But there's no need to buy 3 colors of one style. This is too luxurious. You don't like the other 2 colors. I like it, but since you like it, buy it all. It's not like you have no money. Chiao Mian Mian. Sure enough, only the poor need to make choices. Rich people don't need it. So, her difficulty in choosing is ultimately because she has no money. If you had money, would you still have difficulty choosing? Asterisk. After buying the bag, Chiao Mian Mian wanted to leave the mall. Hundreds of thousands were spent on such a casual visit. Even though it was Mo Yesi who swiped his card to pay, her heart still hurt. Okay. Mo Yesi, however, seemed to want to continue shopping. He took the initiative to carry the bag. The dignified president of the Mo family carried a bag in his left hand and a bag in his right hand willingly. You're going back now. When he heard Chiao Mian Mian say that he wanted to go back, he was stunned for a moment and raised his eyebrows. Don't you want to go shopping anymore? Is there anything else you want to buy? Since we are all out shopping, I bought them together. For Mo Yesi, this amount of consumption is too little. He wants to spend more money on his woman. Yan Shaoqing randomly spent millions on his bedmates. Mo Yesi's own wife, the dignified MRSMO, can't just spend 300,000 or 400,000 on a shopping mall. Chiao Mian Mian, there's nothing else I want to buy. It's getting late, so let's go back. Continuing to wander outside, maybe hundreds of thousands more will be spent soon. Mo Yesi was silent for a moment and said, there is a jewelry store downstairs. Do you want to take a look at the jewelry? Chiao Mian Mian's mouth twitched. No need. What about the clothes and shoes? Mo Yesi didn't want to leave just like that, and wanted to buy her something else. Would you like to buy some? Chiao Mian Mian, didn't Butler Ren buy a lot of them? Many of them haven't even had their labels removed. But, don't you women never mind having too many clothes? Mo Yesi thought thoughtfully. What about skincare products? Is there anything missing? Do you need to buy some? Chiao Mian Mian looked at the man in front of her who was trying his best to keep her shopping, and said a little funny, Mo Yesi, do you want me to continue shopping? End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 384. Chapter 384. Let's date like this too. Mo Yesi nodded. Well, don't you want to? Chiao Mian Mian joked, aren't you afraid that I will max out your card if I buy too much? If you have such ability. The man raised his lips and smiled, his voice was low and sultry, I will be very happy. Chiao Mian Mian. What should she do when she encounters a husband who is not afraid of his wife spending money, but encourages her to spend money in various ways? Mo Yesi. Chiao Mian Mian reached out and rubbed her temples, and said a little helplessly, I really have nothing to buy. If I want to buy something next time, I will tell you, okay? She saw it. Mo Yesi just wanted to spend money on her. Perhaps those 3 bags were just ordinary consumption in his eyes. He thinks she is too frugal. After marrying such a wealthy husband, Chiao Mian Mian still doesn't quite understand their wealthy people's consumption concepts. Mo Yesi looked at her doubtfully, is there something you really didn't want to buy? Chiao Mian Mian held her forehead and spread her hands, I really don't have one at the moment. You don't have to save money for me. I know. Okay. Mo Yesi stared at her for a while, not knowing whether he believed her or not, and nodded, since you don't want to go shopping, then you won't go shopping. However, if you want to buy anything in the future, be sure to tell me. He paused and then said, I'll buy it for you. Chiao Mian Mian, okay. Mo Yesi looked at the time and thought he could watch another movie or something. There is a cinema in the mall, downstairs. Getting into the elevator, he pressed directly to the floor with the movie theater. Chiao Mian Mian looked at the floor he clicked on and was startled, aren't we going home? Is there anything else you want to buy? Mo Yesi clicked on the 6th floor. Obviously, this does not mean going home. Mo Yesi said softly, yeah, and then said, it's still early, so don't rush back. Think about whether there are any movies you want to watch, and we'll watch them later. See a movie? Chiao Mian Mian was stunned for a few seconds, obviously a little surprised. She never thought that Mo Yesi would want to take her to watch a movie. Alright. She also went to the movies when she was dating Suzy. It can be said that most couples will choose to go to the movies when going on a date. The reason why she felt surprised was because she felt that this kind of dating method for ordinary people would probably not happen to Mo Yesi. She never thought that Mo Yesi would accompany her to watch a movie. It always feels like rich people like them go to high-end restaurants for dates, finish the meal, and then go to see art exhibitions or concert halls to listen to musical instruments. Anyway, I went to relatively cool places. Places like movie theaters. Seems a bit too civilian. Why did you suddenly think of watching a movie with me? Chiao Mian Mian asked in confusion. Chiao Mian Mian Mo Yesi called her name in a soft voice. Have we not officially dated yet? Chiao Mian Mian was startled, it seems so. They got married directly without even having any love experience. Where did you have an appointment? So, this is a date: eat, watch a movie, go shopping. Are these the steps that most people go through on a date? It seems so. Then let's date like this too. Sorry, it may be a little late to do some things now, but I still want to try my best to make up for it. Thank you Wendian, thank you Susu family, Yao, MRSE, for the reward. Thank you Lemon Candy, 138.49, Fat Sister Yanzi, 159.92. 182.53, secular reward. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 385. Chapter 385, Pursuing a Woman Requires Patience. The man looked at her with his deep eyes, which were deep and gentle. Chiao Mianmian's heartbeat suddenly skipped a beat. Mo Yesi. His hand gently fell on the top of her head, and his slender fingers slowly ran through her long, silky hair. I don't know what it is like for others to fall in love, but I will find someone to learn more about it, and I hope I can give you a relationship that you are not satisfied with. What a bad love experience. Mian Mian, I owe you a love. Can you give me a chance to make it up to you? Chiao Mian Mian couldn't describe what she felt in her heart. When Mo Yesi said these words to her in an extremely serious tone, she was not completely touched in her heart. Yes. She and Mo Yesi got married too suddenly. They got married less than a day after they met. After that, because she had to go back to school to live, the two of them actually spent very little time together. There is very little time to meet each other, so there is no time for dating. Besides, since we are already married, why is there any need to date? At least, she never thought that Mo Yesi had such a plan in his heart. He said that he owed her a love affair. He said, let her give her a chance. Chiao Mian Mian stared into his eyes for a while. Do you really think so? Mo Yesi took her little hand, brought it to her lips and kissed her. Yes. If you want to put it that way, then you owe me more than just a love affair. Huh, the man was stunned and raised his eyebrows. Chiao Mian Mian looked at him and said word by word, if we follow the normal procedure, you should pursue me first. Only after I agree can we fall in love. Mo Yesi was stunned for several seconds. You want me to pursue you? Chiao Mian raised her eyebrows. Why, you don't want to? For some reason, Mo Yesi had a vague premonition of something bad when he saw her cunning eyes. So, this time he was silent for a long time, as if he was thinking about it. Ding, when we reached the 6th floor, the elevator door opened. Chiao Mian sighed, looked at him and said, "Forget it, just pretend I didn't say anything." She took it for granted. They even took away the marriage certificate, and they still wanted to pursue her. This kind of behavior is a bit like looking for trouble. She turned around and stepped out of the elevator when the man's warm and dry hands held hers. She heard him say, "Okay, pursue it first. Use the way you like." Chiao Mian was stunned, stopped, raised her head to look at him, and blinked. "You agree?" Mo Yesi's lips curved. "Yeah, if you like this, then that's it." "That's what you said." Chiao Mian also curved her lips, a sly smile flashed in her eyes, and freed her hand from his palm. "From now on, our relationship is one of pursuing and being pursued. Before I accept you, you can't hold my hand casually." The pursuer Mo Yesi. Chiao Mian looked at the depressed expression on his face and said, holding back her laughter, "You said you wanted to pursue me, but I didn't force you." Mo Yesi. "Mr. Mo, you need to be patient when pursuing a woman." Chiao Mian persuaded him matter-of-factly, "Now is the testing period to test whether you are suitable to be my boyfriend. So, you have to behave better and strive for one-time pass. Don't you want to watch a movie?" Chiao Mian pointed to the long queue in front of her. "Let's go over and buy tickets." End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 386. Chapter 386. He began to regret it. After saying that, she turned around and walked forward. While walking, my hand was held by the person behind me again. Mo Yesi walked up to her and stretched out his long arms to wrap his arms around her soft and slender waist. Chiao Mian frowned. "Hey, you. Baby, the official pursuit starts tomorrow, today doesn't count." Asterisk. Chiao Mian and Mo Yesi, a good-looking couple, instantly became the focus of the crowd as soon as they walked past. A group of little girls were obsessed with Mo Yesi, and kept shouting things like "so handsome" and "so manly." Some people thought he was a celebrity and came over to ask for his autograph and photos. Mo Yesi naturally refused with an indifferent expression. Chiao Mian picked out a science fiction film that she liked. It was a 3D film with good special effects, and it was perfect for killing time in a place like a movie theater. After buying the ticket, Mo Yesi looked at the people buying popcorn and Coke next to him, and asked Chiao Mian, "Do you want some popcorn?" Of course he won't eat these junk foods. In fact, he didn't want Chiao Mian to eat it. However, he just saw some boys buying popcorn for their girlfriends, and the girls seemed to like eating it. "Okay." Chiao Mian nodded, "I want a big portion, thank you Mr. Mo." Mo Yesi. Are you all so polite to him? Do you really treat him as a pure pursuer? He felt a little depressed and unhappy for no reason. Suddenly, he went from a very close relationship to a suitor who needed to keep distance from his wife. This change of status made him extremely uncomfortable. He began to regret it. Why did he just nod in agreement? He shouldn't have agreed. When you are in love, it is a couple relationship after all, and you can still do intimate things. Basically, it has no impact. But if you are a pursuer. Thinking of this, he had a headache. Now he just hopes that Chiao Mian won't torment him too much and can accept him as soon as possible. Asterisk. After watching the movie, it was already past 10 o'clock in the evening. While Chiao Mian was watching a movie, Her cell phone was on silent. By the time she saw the WeChat message sent by Zhang Luli, it was already more than an hour later. Ginger sugar isn't sweet, I'll go, Mian, have you checked Weibo? Have you seen Qiao Angzhen's latest revelations? Zhang Luli's tone was obviously very exciting. It seems like something terrible happened. Qiao Mian's curiosity was immediately aroused and she replied. What happened to Qiao Angzhen? Zhang Luli replied instantly, why did you just reply to my WeChat now? It's still so early, so you and your boyfriend won't be having so early. Qiao Mian blushed and was speechless. Zhang Luli, can you stop thinking so dirty? Do you always have these things in your head? Zhang Luli, why am I dirty? Even if you and your boyfriend have sex, isn't it normal? But don't tell me that you haven't he yet. Qiao Mian. Zhang Luli, haha, let's not talk about this for now. You haven't slept yet, go to Weibo and take a look. Weibo is very busy right now. Qiao Mian was also curious about what happened to Qiao Angzhen. She did not reply to Zhang Luli again, exited the WeChat interface and logged into Weibo. Just opened Weibo, refreshed it, and saw the news about Qiao Angzhen. Qiao Angzhen is now a first-line star, and her revelations are still very popular. Qiao Mian has a small account and follows many entertainment official blogs, so she can see Qiao Angzhen's news as soon as she logs into Weibo. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 387. Chapter 387 Is Qiaoan really pregnant with a child? The title is very eye-catching. The popular little flower actually beats people in public. Xinggui media strongly praises the little flower Qiao Angzhen. Is she drifting? Then, there is a long paragraph describing various scenes in which Qiao Angzhen fights with people. Below, there are 9 pictures. The pictures are very clear. You can clearly see Qiao Angzhen and a woman wrestling together. The two were rolling around on the ground and the fight was fierce. Qiao Angzhen's face was clearly captured by the camera. As for the other woman, the photo wasn't very clear and I couldn't tell what she looked like. With news like this that has pictures and truth, there is basically no room for reversal. Furthermore, Qiao Angzhen's face was photographed so clearly that it was impossible to say that he had identified the wrong person. After reading the news, Qiao Mian opened WeChat and replied to Zhang Luli, I saw the news. Zhang Luli immediately replied to her, isn't it very satisfying? Did you feel great? Haha, such a shameless woman should have been fooled long ago. Xinggui's side was probably going to be furious. He finally managed to win over Qiao Angzhen, but in the end such news came out. It is undeniable that Qiao Mian felt quite happy when she saw the news. This kind of revelation is absolutely fatal to artists. Qiao Angzhen adopts the character design of her first love on campus, and the image packaged by the company is a very pure and beautiful image. Packaged in the image of every man's first love. The first love in a man's heart is definitely not a woman who beats someone in public. This is something only a shrew would do. It can be said that this news has a great impact on Qiao Angzhen's character. Even if Qiao Angzhen cannot be completely confused by this incident, it will have a great impact on her career. After all, the impact of hitting someone is very bad. As a public figure, you need to convey positive energy to the public, not negative energy. Qiao Mian, well, it's quite refreshing. However, how could Qiao Angzhen suddenly do such a thing? Didn't her agent stop her? Zhang Luli, I also find it strange. Her manager is a very smart person, so he would let his artist do such a thing? Anyway, no matter what, she did hit someone, and many people took photos of the evidence. This time, let's see how Suzaza washes her. Zhang Luli, haha, didn't Suzaza think that scheming was gentle, kind, weak, and pitiful? I don't know what he would think when he saw this news. Does he still think that Jiao Angzan is the weak and kind-hearted little pitiful person in his heart? Jiao Mian saw this reply and fell into deep thought. She was also curious about what Suzy would think when he saw the news. However, she was not curious about what Suzy thought of Jiao Angzan. But he was curious about what Suzy would think of the child in Jiao Angzan's belly if he saw Jiao Angzan rolling to the ground and wrestling with others. Jiao Mian thought silently, is Jiao really pregnant with a child? If it is true, the pregnancy period is less than 3 months. It is still a very dangerous period. A pregnant woman who is less than 3 months pregnant actually dares to fight with others. Aren't you afraid of hurting the baby in your belly, causing a miscarriage or something? What are you thinking about? A deep voice sounded in her ears. Jiao Mian was stunned for a moment, raised her head, and looked at Mo Yesi with questioning eyes. The elevator door opens and leads to the parking lot on the first floor. After stepping out of the elevator, Jiao Mian opened Weibo, found the news, and handed her phone to Mo Yesi to read. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 388. Chapter 388, His little wife is so beautiful that she often makes his heart flutter. Mo Yesi took it, looked at it for a while, and then gave it back to her. Jiao Mian said to him, Jiao Angzan got into a fight with someone and it all went to the police station. The nature was quite serious. Yes, I saw it. Mo Yesi nodded. Does fighting have a great impact on artists? Well, the impact is quite big. Do you need me to do something for you? Mo Yesi was silent for a moment and raised the corners of his lips. Do you want to expand the influence of this matter? This is a very simple matter for him. Jiao Mian, no need. She felt that Mo Yesi had misunderstood her. She showed him her cell phone just now, not with the intention of letting him fuel the situation behind her back. Jiao Angzan is hateful, but Jiao Mian doesn't want to be the one who adds insult to injury. Otherwise, she would become as hateful a person as Jiao Angzan. Mo Yesi raised his eyebrows. You really don't need it? Really? Jiao Mian blinked and said seriously, I believe that evil people will be punished. Look, isn't she already here to get her retribution? Okay. Mo Yesi didn't say anything more, respecting her decision. If you say no, then no. However, anytime you need my help, you must tell me. Don't try to show off your strength. Someone to carry it? Jiao Mian said sweetly in her heart, yes, I understand. Mo Yesi found his car. After opening the door, he watched Jiao Mian get in the car before he went around to the other side and got in the car. After getting in the car, Jiao Mian turned on the news and watched it for a while. Because Jiao Angzan beat someone in the lobby of Yunchinj Hotel. So, there were quite a lot of witnesses at the time, and some even took videos and posted them online. After Jiao Mian clicked on the video and watched it, she became more and more confused. In the video, Jiao An's skills and the way she hits people don't look like a pregnant woman at all. Asterisk. When we went back to Lushan Villa, it was past 11 in the evening, almost 12 o'clock. Jiao Mian lay on the bed after taking a shower. A lot of things happened that day, and she was very tired. After lying in bed for a while, Mo Yesi fell asleep before Mo Yesi came out of the shower. By the time Mo Yesi finished taking a bath and came out wearing a bathrobe, she was already fast asleep. Mo Yesi wiped his hair and walked slowly to the bed. On the huge black bed, the girl lying on the bed only occupied a small corner. The bed is very big, which makes her appear petite and small. When she is sleeping soundly, her fair and delicate cheeks glow with a light pink color. The eyelashes covering her eyes are thick and long, like two small fans. Her pink and tender lips are like cherry blossoms. There is still a layer of attractive water on the lips. She was wearing a suspender nightgown. She probably felt a little hot, so the thin blanket covering her body was half lifted. Long, slender arms and straight white thighs were exposed. Her skin is white, and under the crystal lamp, it seems to emit a layer of gleaming white light. After Moyesi's eyes fell on the girl, he couldn't look away. He knew that Xiao Mian was beautiful. It's just that, even so, I'm still surprised by her most of the time. His little wife is so beautiful that it often makes his heart flutter. Moyesi stood motionless by the bed and watched for a while, then he got on the bed very gently, and then carefully put the sleeping girl into his arms. Having just taken a shower, Xiao Mian smelled very good. Moyesi leaned into her neck and took a breath, and the tight string in his brain suddenly relaxed a lot. Thank you for the eternal happiness, July, 15992, my infatuation will never change, Yuzio Tao. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 389. Chapter 389 Nightmare. The breath on Xiao Mian's body can make him relax quickly, as if it has a calming effect, which is more effective than any medicine he has taken before. The sweet fruity fragrance and the light floral fragrance lingered in his nose. At this moment, he was in a very relaxed state. After closing his eyes for a while, he also fell asleep. Asterisk. This night, with Xiao Mian by his side, Moyesi had that nightmare again. In his dream, he went back to the day he was kidnapped. In the damp and dilapidated basement, his hands and feet were tied up, and a rag was stuffed in his mouth. His delicate face was covered with dirt, so dirty that he couldn't even see his true appearance. He was guarded by a group of fierce-looking gangsters with guns, and was only given one steamed bun to eat every day. The gangsters all had a hatred of rich people. After kidnapping him, they not only gave him one steamed bun to eat every day, but also gave him one steamed bun every day. And he even beat him. If it wasn't for him to get the ransom, they would probably beat him to death. In the dream, Moyesi seemed like an outsider. When he was a child, he didn't cry or make trouble, and he calmly waited for redemption. Then the day came when someone from the Mahist family came to redeem him. The Mahists called the police. When the gangsters discovered this, the enraged gangsters wanted to kill Ripo. They abducted him into a car and drove him desperately on the road. While being chased by the police, a group of people panicked and drove their cars down the cliff. At that time, he also had a great destiny. The gangsters who kidnapped him all fell to the bottom of the cliff. When he fell out of the car, a policeman who was chasing him caught him in time and dragged him up. Just when everyone thought he was rescued and safe, another wave of gangsters rushed over. When they saw their accomplice's car falling off the cliff, they were so angry that they lost their minds and drew their guns at them. The policeman who rescued him from the cliff immediately stood in front of him, blocked the bullets fired at him. At this time, the dreamland turned into a blood-red color. Huge streams of blood flowed out of the body of the policeman who took the bullet for him, and soon his entire police uniform was stained red. His eyes widened, his young and handsome face still showed unwillingness and reluctance, and he fell motionless in a pool of blood. Moyesi, who had been kidnapped for 3 whole days and nights, had been insulted and beaten by the gangsters in all kinds of ways, had never cried, but the moment the policeman fell in front of him, tears flowed out. This scene has become his eternal nightmare. Looking at the dazzling blood red, his heart seemed to have been stabbed by something, and the sharp pain spread from his heart to his whole body. He felt like he was almost out of breath. He watched his savior fall in front of him, life passing away bit by bit. But there is no way. That feeling of powerlessness made him fall into deep self-blame and guilt. If it weren't for saving him, the policeman wouldn't have died. If he had not been so weak at the time, he could have protected himself. If Moyesi. Just when he was trapped in a nightmare and couldn't wake up like before, a soft and delicate voice suddenly sounded in his ears, calling his name worriedly and anxiously, Moyesi, Moyesi. He felt a soft hand squeeze his hand, injecting a new strength into his body. His cold body warmed up little by little. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 390. Chapter 390 scared me to death. The blood-red color in front of my eyes was also dissipating little by little. In the darkness, a light slowly brightened. Asterisk. When Moyesi opened his eyes, he saw Xiao Mian looking at him anxiously. "You're awake." Xiao Mian stretched out her hand to wipe the cold sweat from his forehead, frowning, her eyes full of worry. "What were you dreaming about? I called you several times, but you didn't wake up." She pressed her chest with one hand. "I'm scared to death." She was really frightened just now. Because she was thirsty, she woke up, turned on the lamp and was about to get some water, but she saw Moyesi sweating profusely and looking painful. She guessed that he was having a nightmare and wanted to wake him up. But even after calling several times, he didn't respond at all. Fortunately, he finally woke up. Otherwise, she wouldn't know what to do. Moyesi didn't seem to be fully awake yet, his eyes were still a little dazed. He stared at her intently for a while, then suddenly reached out and hugged her. Xiao Mian was hooked by his neck, and she fell on top of him, her whole body falling on top of him. Her head hit her strong chest. She heard Moyesi's heartbeat beating very fast and urgently. He wrapped his arms tightly around her waist and hugged her tightly without saying a word. Xiao Mian could feel that he was not in the right mood. She guessed that his current abnormality might be related to the dream he had. Although she didn't know what he was dreaming about, at this moment, she didn't move. She lay on top of him obediently and let him hold her. Until Moyesi's heartbeat gradually calmed down. The arms tightly wrapped around her waist were loosened little by little. Xiao Mian felt that his mood had improved a lot. She put a hand on his chest and slowly straightened her body. Then he sat down next to him. "Are you having a nightmare?" she asked softly. There was still sweat on his face. Xiao Mian pulled out a tissue, reached over and gently wiped his face. When it touched his lips, Moyesi reached out and held her soft little hand, kissed her palm with his warm and moist lips, and said in a hoarse voice, "Why are you awake? Am I talking in my sleep? It's your turn." Xiao Mian shook his head. "No, I was already awake." "You didn't talk in your sleep. What did you dream about?" she hesitated and asked curiously. Moyesi's eyes were red and bloodshot, and he looked like he hadn't slept well. He was silent for a moment and shook his head. "It's nothing, it's just an ordinary nightmare. Don't worry about me, just keep sleeping." Xiao Mian looked at him suspiciously. She didn't believe him. Really, just an ordinary nightmare? But his behavior was not like a reaction after simply having a nightmare. But since he didn't want to say it, she wouldn't continue to ask. "I'm thirsty. I'm going to get some water to drink before going to bed. Do you want to drink some water?" After Xiao Mian finished speaking, she was about to get up to get water. Moyesi held her shoulders. "You want to drink water? Lie down and I'll get it." He directly lifted up the thin blanket and got out of bed, and went to get half a cup of warm water. Xiao Mian took the cup and drank half of the water in one breath. Every time she ate something with a strong taste at night, she would wake up thirsty in the middle of the night. She added the seasonings to the hot pot meal last night several times, and it can be said that the taste was very strong. Seeing how thirsty she was, Moyesi took the empty cup and said warmly, "Do you want to drink more?" End of this chapter.